Hello there friend, my name is April San Pedro. In this video, I want to share with you a very quick and simple tutorial how to make your very own fountain pen ink swatches. If you've been following along or you've seen my previous videos, you probably know by now that I'm not only dipping my toes into the fountain pen and inks world, but I'm actually, I think my thighs are already in the pool of that world. And luckily, there are people here in my city who are into fountain pens, and I am so glad that I was able to meet them last Sunday. And I'm just so happy to be with the same people that you are interested with. Not only you get to play more inks and more pens, but at the same time you get to learn with each other, get to have more friends. It was just so wonderful. It was actually bump up that I didn't get so much ink when we went to Japan last month. But then when I met this wonderful people from fountain pen group, I was just so happy that I wasn't able to buy a lot yet because I didn't know so much. But when we met last Sunday, I learned so many things. I got to try different pens and get to try inks as well. And so I realized it's so nice to be with people who are of the same interest, because you don't need to buy so much. Or you can just try it first if they have it, and from there you would know whether it's for you or not. I got inspired from the gathering that we had last Sunday and thought I might need a better swatch for the inks so I would know next time which one I would really like to get for myself. So before, I was just swatching my inks with this notebooks. So this one is an artisan papery pandagdag journal. It's a traveler's notebook, regular size. But I realized it's too small. It can handle fountain pen inks, but I believe some inks are too much for it. So it's not the same as Tomoe River, really. I also used the MD paper. This one, I swatch it bigger, which apparently you can still see the features of the ink. And then it has less bleed, but I'm using it for something else as well. So like here you can see it's a swatch, but I drew from it. So I started it with different things, and I'm thinking like I'm getting a bit OC. Like I can still use it because there's still a lot of pages, but I wanted to use this notebook for something else because it's very handy. And I don't know, I think I like a different paper better than this one. Plus this is cream and this one too, so I prefer a white paper. And then I saw a video from, I believe it's from the Wet Pens or Wet Ink Pens. I'm gonna link his channel below, and he did his swatches on a ring loose sheets card, I think. So there's like a col-o-ring brand, and there's also one that has the Moe River, and with different papers, I think. So I thought, yeah, that would be very nice to have, to see your ink in a bigger paper, and that you can just really see the features of the entire ink. Now, I don't want to buy that anymore, although that would be nice, but I just tried to check out whatever materials that I have in the studio, and then I saw this one. So I found Mnemosyne notebook. This one is from Artillery PH. The Mnemosyne journals or notebooks are from Japan, and we all know Japanese paper are really nice. They are smooth, they are suitable for a lot of materials. Now what I did here, I did some paper test. Now I've thought of using this instead because I know this can handle a lot of mediums, especially fountain pen inks. So basically, I'm just gonna show you how I did it, just in case you wanna swatch inks as well. And what I realized about having this is it really shows the features of the ink. Though I also realized that even though I'm seeing the real features of the ink from the sheen, the shimmer, it will still vary on the paper that you will be using and the pen as well. So technically, even though I'm seeing, so let's say, even though I'm seeing sheen and a little bit of shimmer here with this swatch, if I use it on an EF fountain pen, it wouldn't really be that obvious, but you know, at least from the idea that you know what inks you're getting in. Actually, these are the inks that I swatched from the last gathering, so that's why I was really inspired by doing this. Now this is what I'm actually just gonna share with you. Now this is nothing fancy, it's just more of like tearing out a paper, but I realized how nice this is, just like the col-o-ring. So basically, I'm just gonna show you how I did this in a very simple manner. So this is the paper that I will be using. This is the Mnemosyne journal. So I believe the paper they're using is a Maruman, and it's just so smooth. It has a 80 GSM, so it's not that thick and it's not that thin as well. So basically, it really can handle inks. And I want to be a bit fancy, so I will be using my crisp board for the cover, and then of course we will be needing fountain pen inks to swatch. I want to use a watercolor brush for the ink, so I'm using a flat brush just so I can wash the paper with a straight line. And then what else? Scissors, paper clip, and I will be using some stickers. I'm gonna decorate the cover, but it's just gonna be very simple. And then a cardstock to serve as your cover. Okay, so the Mnemosyne is a spring bind notebook, and it actually has a perforated mark here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna get few sheets, and I'm gonna cut this perforated side. And you can use a trimmer, cutter, or scissors, but I really prefer mine with a torn edges. I'm just gonna fold and tear it off right away. I was actually having dilemma how big my swatch would be, because the col-o-ring swatch is, I think, around probably this small, like this, or probably this big if I'm not mistaken, based from the videos that I saw. But I thought I wouldn't be able to maximize the paper if that would be the case, so there would be excess, and I don't want to waste a very nice paper, because this is really a very nice paper. So what I did is I just fold it and cut it into 8 pieces. So as you can see here, it's not fancy, it's not a fancy tutorial, but I just want to share this with you just in case you're also getting into fountain pen inks, or if you're already into this. Now, I also saw some videos that they use their Hobonichi as swatches. I have a Hobonichi, and some of the pages there also I use as swatch, but the purpose of this is I want to bring it with me, especially when I'm with my fountain pen people, but at the same time it's not adding so much weight to my journal bag. So that's why I've thought of making just a loose sheet, and I really thought of using a nice paper for this, because even though the Mnemosyne paper is not what I've been using for my journals or for my planner, I just want to see the features of the fountain pen inks. So basically, I am done with the pages or the sheets inside of the cover. You can add as many as you want, and as you can imagine, this one has 70 sheets, so if you're dedicating a journal or this notebook for that, then this is actually worth it, because you can have lots of it. Okay, for the cover, I'm just using a scrap cardstock that I have in the studio. I would suggest to use a cardstock since the paper is very thin and delicate. It would be nice to protect it with a thicker cover. I'm gonna use my creasing board, although if you've been watching my tutorials, I would normally wing the measurements. So I'm still gonna eyeball the measurement, but what I wanna share with you is like, I'm anticipating that these sheets will get thicker eventually. So I will be needing a thicker spine. So like, as you can see here, I only folded it into half. But as the paper's becoming chunky, it cannot hold so much anymore. So I thought of doing a thicker spine just so to prepare the cover to have more space once my swatches are becoming chunky already. Okay. So I am still eyeballing it, except that I am just following the line of my cutting mat, so it would be more precise. Okay, and then I'm just gonna straighten the bottom part since I'm already using a cutter. Okay, so this is the height of the paper. So I know now that I will be folding here, and I'm thinking of about a quarter. There you go. So this is the reason why I'll be using a creasing board, because it's easier for me this way. If you don't have this, you can just use a bone folder, a ruler. Just make sure to leave a space in the middle. So now I'm folding the crease. There you go. So now I have more room for my pages. So next, I'm just gonna cut it out. Okay. I was thinking at first if I'm gonna use a ring as well, just like the col-o-ring, but then it's gonna add more work, I believe. Or, you know, since this paper is smaller than the col-o-ring, I thought I'm gonna lose a space if I add a ring in the middle here. So I just thought of making a booklet instead. So like, as you can see here, I am just eyeballing it again. Like so. Okay, so now I'm just gonna cut. Of course, if you're a bit OZ when it comes to the alignment, feel free to use a ruler or trimmer. Okay, this part I want to use a manual cutter and a ruler. Okay, so let's try it out. I added more papers, so this is probably around more than 50, I think. So as you can see here, there's still more space, just a little bit more, so I don't have to worry so much if it gets thicker compared to this one. So this is the purpose of the paper clip. This will hold the papers together. Like I said a while ago, I've thought of using the ring, but then you're gonna need more tools, and it's gonna add a little bit more of work every time you add paper to it. So I thought, you know, I wanna just use the paper clip so I can just do this every time I wanna check the inks, right? Okay, so now that I'm done with the cover, I just want to add a little bit of decoration on the cover. I'm just gonna make it simple. So I'm just gonna add a label sticker. This one is from my own stationery. It's called Labels. So I'm just gonna put it here where I'm gonna put the title, and then I'm just gonna add this sticker. So that's simple. Okay, and then here I'm just gonna write fountain pen inks. swatches. Okay, that is so nice. I really love it. Okay, so now let's give this booklet a try. I will be using a Ferris wheel pressed ink. This one is called Hearty Harvest. This is one of my favorite inks. I didn't realize I like the autumn theme colors. I've been seeing videos about autumn inks and I didn't realize that I was actually liking the color, the muted dark color. And so I want to try this one out. Ferris wheel press ink is known for their shimmer inks, and so I need to really shake the bottle so that shimmer will mix with the ink. So this is also the reason why I did not opt to put a ring to bind the papers, because it's so much easy to just remove the clip and get the paper to swatch. That's how beautiful it is. Since I don't have a glass pen with me, or I really don't have a glass pen, I'm just gonna dip an empty fountain pen and write the name of the ink. So let's try and put this back here. Here. There you go. I hope you enjoyed this very simple and quick tutorial. I hope this inspired you to make your own swatch booklet regardless of what paper you're gonna use. You can also do this with watercolor, with brush markers, with your pens, or I don't know, possibilities are endless. And you can just bring it with you anywhere without adding so much weight to your journal pouch, right? Let me know in the comments if you also have a different swatch idea, or if you're using the col-o-ring for your ink swatches, or if you have any other tutorials that you want me to do, just feel free to comment below. See you in my next video. Bye!